Enterprise Management 360.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Tech Chat. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to be speaking with Brendan Dykes, who's the Senior Director of Solution and Product Marketing at Genesys. In particular, he's going to be walking us through the company's research into employee attitudes working with artificial intelligence. So let's go ahead and find out his thoughts on the matter. Thanks so much for joining me today, Brendan. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to it.
No worries at all, Brendan. So can you introduce the research to us? What did it investigate and what were the main findings?
So back in the beginning of the year, we surveyed just over 800 adults in the United Kingdom around April, and we surveyed a wide age group from 18 to 57, and the cohort was about 58% women and 42% men on their opinions and views of artificial intelligence in the workplace. It was very interesting to us because artificial intelligence is a broad subject. It has many meanings. Some people think of it as the end of the world, the apocalypse. Some people think of it as their end of their job. They no longer have a job in life. Other people think of it just as a hype. It's a marketing hype. And still more people believe that it's coming, but it's not coming yet. And so when we looked at the results, we found some interesting findings. 64% of people believed that it was already helping them in their day-to-day work. So they already felt that AI was with them and they were able to engage with it. Over 50%, nearly 60% of people felt that AI would not replace their jobs in the next 10 years. So there isn't a fear of AI necessarily in the workplace, which I guess, given all the press on it, was quite a surprise. But on the other hand, over 80% of people felt that their employers should be obliged to provide them with training and development to live in this new world. Artificial intelligence is changing their job. So there is an underlying expectation that employers will do something to enable them to evolve and change with the changing environment around them. Over 60% also felt that that there was a need for them to be a minimum number of employees in an organization. The technology shouldn't replace the human being completely. And again, that sort of underlies, almost goes against that expectation of people being happy with AI. There is a little bit of underlying fear that I guess people feel that a job may well go with that. And I think there is some truth behind that. Jobs will change, but not necessarily be lost completely, as we've seen with all technology evolutions over the years.
Sounds great. So in light of these findings, is there anything you would advise to businesses looking to introduce AI to their workforce?
Artificial intelligence, as I say, is a very broad term. It's in everything from your vending machines and your children's toys through to the technology used in operating theatres. So it's a very broad subject. So focusing in particularly in the area that Genesys has an interest in around customer experience. I think we need to think about it in terms of it's not a project, it's a program. It is an evolution of the way that we do business. It has many places where it plays out in the way that we engage with and work with customers. From the point that the customer arrives on a website, perhaps, being able to understand what their needs and expectations are, being able to understand when they're not achieving the goal that they were aiming for, because every website is built for a purpose. And so therefore, we need to be able to guide people and help them through those situations. And so AI is going to be very powerful in the personalization of customer experience, making sure that it actually meets the needs of the customer. But beyond that, once customers start to engage with businesses, yes, chatbots, voice bots, voice interfaces are being improved significantly by the development in natural language processing that AI has brought to it. But once it gets past those technologies, once there is a need for a human being to be involved in the process, there are also spaces where AI can be used.
So based on your understanding of employee attitudes towards AI, if we were to revisit in 10 years' time and do the same survey again, what would you expect to find?
I guess that some ways depends on how we, as a community, in customer experience set our boundaries for the way that technology is applied. I really am a huge fan of the concept of AI ethics, having a set of rules and expectations of artificial intelligence, accountability, ensuring that the way it is being used in an accountable and honest and open fashion. I think we need to be very careful around data protection and how that people are able to expose their information for the purposes of engagement. There's a concept from Forrester called the digital twin. This is the idea that online there will be an image of you, of your expectations, of your values, of your needs that organizations can engage with. And I think that's a really interesting concept, that you will be able to somehow set up a profile that is a mirror of what you really are like, so that organizations know how to deal with you. I think there needs to be transparency. I'm very concerned again about some of these black box algorithms, black box technologies. And finally, I think it needs to be for social benefit and for the benefit of both the organization. Yes, it's great that organizations will be able to make value and bring value to their stakeholders, but it needs to be all the stakeholders, the employees, the customers, as well as the owners. At the end of the day, it's about fairness. And I think having a fair strategy will enable us to bring technologies to bear that are sustainable as a world. And so I think in 10 years' time, if we have taken those rules on board, I think we're in for an exciting time. I think we will see the mundane has become automated, the complex and the difficult will be enabled and supported, and we will still see the human being in the process, either in the front line still dealing with customers, or in the organization supporting the data, the ethics and the engagement processes around the edge of customer experience delivery.
Absolutely, there's certainly a lot to look forward to. Brendan, it's been so great to get your thoughts on the matter, so thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Tech Chat, and thank you once again to Brendan for the insightful discussion. If you're interested in generating leads for your business, then head on over to our Tell Us Your Audience page, where we can distribute your content across North America, APAC and Europe, delivering SQLs and MQLs right back to you. In the meantime, make sure you're following us on LinkedIn and Twitter, or head on over to our website em360tech.com for more great content.